Kamusta uwi mo dyan, anak?
Uy, nakabukla pa!
Mananatili na sa piling mo, mundo'y magiging ikaw. Sumama ka, papasdan ang mga dala. Aking sinta, ikaw ng tahanan ng mundo. Sa pagpahig, mananatili na sa piling mo, mundo'y magiging ikaw. Magiging ikaw. Ang magkasama tayo, mundo'y magiging ikaw.
And I'm so excited because at least this time we can now be more connected to many people about their feng shui.
Diba, of course, love is a choice. So, syempre, since we're both part of the showbiz industry, importante para sa amin na hindi makinig sa ibang tao. And kasi, syempre, kung makikinig ka sa bawat opinion ng mga ibang tao, makikinig ka sa mga sasabihin nila, mas lalong magkakaroon ng misunderstandings sa isang relationship. It's more of like we choose to listen to each other.
Me as an individual, as a unique person, I feel that you are your own icon. You know, you have to have your own personality, shine, whatever.
You have to take control of your destiny. Wag mong aantayin na may magandang trabahong dumating sa'yo. Go for it. If you think you can do it, go after it. You know, you have to take charge of your destiny because it is your life. And ambition ka sa buhay, run after your dreams, chase your dreams, and it will happen.
Kasi kahit na napakaswerte natin, if we don't do the work, it will never happen. Pagdating ng araw, ipapakita namin sa buong mundo na kaming mga Filipina, we are good people. That is just a stepping stone for us to achieve what we want because of love for our family.
Nakaka-in-love. So sweet.
Nakaka-in-love. Alam mo talaga, totoo yan, Marites. When you're traveling, just the two of you, you feel young. Yung parang
Yeah.
it's just yesterday. You know, we've been married for 17 years, pero pag nagbabiyahe kami, it's like we're dalaga binata na, kaya nga, age is just a number because the heart never grows old.
We realized that sex therapy was a very narrow, limited field. And to really help and understand the person, you really have to take clinical psychology. The greatest sex organ is the one between your ears, di ba? Not between your legs. So that is why I decided to get a PhD in psychology and clinical psych.
The word is channeling your pain into positivity. You have to, because what's the point? We're here for a very limited time in this life, and we've got to make the most of it. And this year, more than ever, should have shown how important it is for us to push forward, for us to be smiling, for us to be happy. If you don't want to do something, change it. If you don't want to be somewhere, move. Do whatever you can to be happy, because this is it. You can't come back and do it again.
You use primer. The reason is that so that the application of your makeup is bit faster. It spreads faster and it spreads evenly. That's why we use that. Because there's skin with oily skin or dried skin that needs primer. The primer as well, it depends on your skin type.
Because for me, it's about educating ourselves, because we are in two different generations. But at the end, we will embrace and kiss and say, I
I
love you.
always feel that being a woman is an advantage because you can charm your way, diba, sister?
Yeah.
If you're smart, you can do many things, no? Pretty and smart. Wow, you can do so many
I
things.
want to make children happy. That is one of the most important purpose that I had. So I said, I had to teach children how to play with it.
If you just live one way forever and you don't pivot and you don't move, you will never grow. You will just be idle. And if you are idle, then how will you progress, diba?
Changing the habits to keep your energy level balanced and take the advantage to take care of yourself, pamper yourself with shea butter. You know, it was something that I was doing a lot.
Ilang babies ba ang gagawin?
Mga 2 or 3 yung gusto namin.
Meron ka ng Year of the Ox ngayon? Kaya ba? You should
natin mamaya.
I will be joined by my dearest friend, Tessa Prieto Valdez.
I really feel it's just being unique to yourself, being comfortable in whatever style you have. And I think it's being true and unique.
I call her a superwoman, Miss Gail Cruz Macapagal.
Hindi nahihinto ang pangarap, lalo pa nga nating sisipagan.
That's so amazing, Gail. Hello, everybody. Good morning to you there in New York. And of course, good afternoon here in London. And good evening there in the Philippines. Welcome to another episode of Fun, Fortune, and Feng Shui with Maritess Allen. And today, my friends, I am so excited because another stellar personality, of course, a true pride, of course, from the Filipino community is going to be my guest today. And welcome again to everybody. I can see that you have come in, and I'm gonna come in later and say hi to you. But in the meantime, I'd like to, present to you my very special guest. Of course, mga kaibigan, his name is Mr. Gerard Gerry Panga, who has 28 years of solid travel industry experience, mainly in marketing communications and product development with the Department of Tourism. And you know, mga kaibigan, just like me, who has been here in London for the longest time now, because I'm missing the Philippine sunshine. And of course, the beautiful, beautiful Philippine destination. So our dearest friend, Gerry, will take us virtually back to our beautiful Philippines. And Gerry is mainly the expert in terms of tourism education, especially also as well with the hotel business and tourism education. He is currently the Department of Tourism Director for the United Kingdom, Northern Ireland, and Southern Europe. And prior to his London posting in 2016, he was assigned to handle the Department of Tourism offices in Taipei. That was between 2004 and 2007, and in Shanghai from 2007 to 2015. Wow, that was a long time. And Gerry, mga kaibigan, is a graduate of the University of the Philippines, Asian Institute of Tourism, and a government scholar with a Master of Tourism, a specialization in Italy through a grant from the United Nations Tourism Organization, with an MBA degree as well. So mga kaibigan, without further ado, let's all welcome our very, very special guest, tourism attaché from the Philippine Embassy here in United Kingdom in London. Let's all welcome Mr. Gerry Panga.
Hi, good afternoon, Marites from London. I'm tuning in from Chiswick, so
Hello.
I'm a big fan. So it's such a delight to join your show today, and especially we're talking about fun. That's the soul, heart and soul of our campaign. It's more fun in the Philippines. So
Thank
glad to
you.
join you.
Yes, it's more fun in the Philippines. Thank you. It's such an honor to have you, Gerry. I know I had been like your biggest fan because I follow your travels. And first question lang, you know, when the slogan was created, it just popped up into my head. It's like, it's more fun in the Philippines. How or when was it coined, that particular line?
That was the time of Secretary Mon Jimenez. Basically,
Okay.
yeah, we were trying to figure out what's in it in the Philippines that makes the travelers or visitors make their travel very satisfying, and everyone would say it's the most hospitable and fun-loving Filipinos. So that is the core of our campaign. And true, when you go there, you'll see genuine smiles and people are just happy to welcome all the visitors. So yeah, that's the heart of our campaign.
Wow. So even now, because it's nice to see, you know, when really when you're abroad or even back home to the Philippines, or with millions and millions of OFWs all over the world, when they get to see, I remember when I was in Kazakhstan, there was a promo there that says, you know, one of the yurks, you know, like a hat there, and it says that it's more fun in the Philippines. So I really felt so honored and I'm so happy that, you know, in a faraway land we can see that. So it is the official brand. Is there any other word, or it's more fun in the Philippines only?
We maintain that campaign brand and logo, plus the more fun in the Philippines, and it is being continued by our current secretary now, Berna Romulo Puyat. So as they say, when we're doing very well, when it's doing good in the market, we should sustain it and
Of
continue it.
course.
Yeah.
Exactly. Wow, beautiful. So look at that, mga kaibigan. Those are the beautiful, beautiful destinations that Gerry and his team has been promoting all over the world. So, and there's so many places that we can actually enjoy the Philippines. So Gerry, before we begin, I'd like to say hi to Mr. Gerry Ravino. Thank you for watching. Someone is watching from Dubai. Daib Bautista. I thank you for watching from Dubai. And many of you, we will keep flashing your greetings on screen. Thank you so much. Please continue to share, watch, and of course, subscribe to my YouTube channel, Maritess Allen. And I searched on Gerry, you have a YouTube channel, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
It's all
please.
under the it's more fun in the Philippines.co.uk. So across all our social media platforms, we have Instagram, YouTube, the big ones, Facebook.
Okay.
We even have
Yes.
our own travel app. Yeah.
Wow. So it's more fun in the Philippines, and later, may travel app pala tayong mga kaibigan that you can download. So it's very easy. When you do miss the Philippines, you just browse through it. Talagang tuloy-tuloy ang ating promotion. And one day, hopefully, when the borders are clear for traveling, we will all go back home. So, Jerry, can you please give us a brief picture of what are the different responsibilities of being a tourism attaché?
Yes, out here in the market, basically we are the main representation of the Department of Tourism. So I am the representative of our secretary and the whole department. Basically, my job entails the promotion of the Philippines as an ideal leisure and also a business destination for Europeans. And out here in London, I cover not only United Kingdom, but the rest of the bigger market, Northern and Southern Europe, as far as Israel and Turkey. So it's a big market and jurisdiction. So you can just imagine the volume of activities we do year in, year out to make the Philippines, a byline, to retain the Philippines in the mindset of the travelers that we are indeed a beautiful country and it's more fun to visit our country.
Yeah, wow. My God, saludo ako sa iyo. My God, to you and to your team, talagang non-stop work yan. Pandemic or no pandemic. You can see our tourism attaché to be like pushing and promoting the Philippines. To others, some would seem that your job is like all fun, promoting a product that is already a sure seller, and getting to see places and all that. For sure, there are also some like challenges, in promotions like this. Can you tell us more about this side of your job that that has challenges in a way, in the promotion sector?
Well, first, we are blessed with a very beautiful country, and it's not coming from us. Even during this pandemic, we've been receiving left and right the most prestigious travel awards and accolades. Out here in London, World Travel Awards, the Philippines was voted and awarded as world's leading dive destination for 2 years in a row. And even the elite publications, the global readers voted Palawan as best island in the world from Travel Plus Leisure International. All our top 4 destinations out of 10 are all coming from the Philippines, according to Condé Nast. And even Siargao is the number 1 beach destination in Asia, according to subscribers of TripAdvisor. But as you said, it's not that easy because there are some barriers to spreading the good news about the Philippines in our target markets. Number 1, we have to make sure that all the news that are coming out or being spread are all positive, but sadly we get a lot of fake news and get a lot also about negative news which are spread and known out here in the market. And secondly, in terms of of Philippines as a destination, we do have some problems because, as you know, it's only Philippine Airlines which provides the direct link out of Europe through London to Philippines. So it's a very big challenge when you don't have the right resources with you, like in this case, the air access. But otherwise, covering the whole of Europe, it's all about being efficient with your promotional resources. So we go heavy with our digital marketing. But like I mentioned, the physical way of doing it, covering the whole of United Kingdom plus us going in actual marketplace, going there for travel fairs, all these business engagements. It's a big challenge. Yes.
Wow. How long usually when you do a promotion per country? How long will you have to be away and do the setup? And is it like a week or weeks or something? Usually,
it's a week, but basically we base it on the travel patterns or the travel behavior of the Europeans. So they normally travel during a winter holiday season. So 6 months before that, we go around, travel around, and join major travel fairs and do our own travel presentations in key cities in Europe under my jurisdiction. So yes,
Wow.
it's but I'd like to always say that it's a 24/7 job. Apart from doing what we have here in the marketplace, we also have to report to the Philippines, which is 7 hours behind us. So I'm so used to it,
Exactly.
waking up 2 o'clock in the morning, sleep, and then wake up again. Yeah.
Yeah, I know the feeling, but wow, you are amazing. Which leads me now to my next question, that your professional record shows drive, determination written all over it. And you joined the tourism industry from the very start, and you went from strength to strength as you rise up the ladder, of course. And then where do you think, or for me, I'm just like curious, where is the passion coming from? Is it because like when you were little, when you were a kid, you were really like, this is the way I want to be, I want to be a diplomat and travel the world and promote the Philippines. Was there something like that when you were a lot younger? You know?
Yeah, I've always been very driven because it's the challenge and joy of being raised in a, shall we say, middle class family. My dad, who passed away already 5 years ago, was a judge. So yeah, he was very strict and had to make sure that what he was doing for us would be good for our future. So even from from childhood days, I was always very busy with school activities. I was always with the student council, high school, even in UP. I was the
Wow.
college representative, vice chairman, and chairman. So as a my persona, that has always been my personality and character. But when I became a professional tourism marketer for the government, it entails a great responsibility because we are not only promoting Philippines but actually helping generate livelihood and job opportunities for our kababayan. So it's a big responsibility. So just imagine if we produce more than 200,000 Brits going to the Philippines, spending about $1,500. That's enough and very big source of revenues for our country. So that's very inspiring. At the same time, a great role to do for as a government officer.
I'm just curious. So you were saying that if there are 200,000 Brits flying from the Philippines from the UK to the Philippines to have a holiday, the average of their expenditures would be 1,500. Would that include? It doesn't include the airfare, right? It's just their daily,
Yes.
accommodations, food like that.
Yes.
So, wow. So it's already a large amount really to contribute to the local economy.
Yeah, because the Brits and the Europeans stay longer, and they also along the way spend more, and they also explore off the beaten track destinations in the Philippines. They are the more adventurous type.
Oh my God! Wow. Alam mo, I'm just curious. With the so many, how many? We have what, over 7,000 islands in the country. How many islands have you visited in the Philippines?
I haven't did an actual check, but it's actually 7,641. But at least all the major destinations. Yeah.
And then do you have like, I know you're not supposed to say your favorite, but would you say you have a favorite? Like, for me, of course, I'm always, I'm very, not neutral, but I always favored Palawan, anywhere in Palawan. I'm a Cebuana. I grew up in Masbate with a lot of islands as well. But where is the place where would you say that in the Philippines you would always like go back?
Well, like you said, I'm biased because I'm from Bicol. And true enough, Bicol is blessed also with a lot of activity options. We have the Mayon volcano, interaction with the whale shark, Karamoan, where they are filming now the Survivor series. Plus also we have a very vibrant nightlife in Naga City, and also one of the biggest wakeboarding facilities in the world. But across all the destinations that I visited, I'm also a diver. So I also love diving in Palawan, Bohol, and I also like Siargao. Siargao is like the European destination now. It's a top destination for the Brits and Spanish travelers. So it's very exciting. Of course, Cordilleras for the mountain experience, and many more. I love Anilao for the macro diving. And
Mhm.
once I start comparing, I will never stop. I love Iloilo also, the gourmet experience, the rich ancestral heritage. It's
Yes,
something
the
to
food.
really be proud of. Yes.
Yeah, and the food as well.
And
So
Boracay,
yeah, Boracay, of
Boracay.
course.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
always. Yeah, we grow up. I grew up in Boracay, like going back and forth. So Jerry, when we to those who are viewing right now, can you please tell us something about the restrictions or like the considerations being given out to those who wanted to have a leisure activity at this time in the Philippines? Where can they go? And what are the requirements for them to go and relax already?
Okay. Technically, the Philippines is still close to international leisure travel, but we do
Mm.
allow the re-entry of overseas Filipinos, former Filipinos, and their immediate foreign family members, the diplomats, the business travelers with the visa qualification in the Philippines. So, at this point, domestic travel is allowed, but every day, like today, should be the day to announce the new easing of restrictions. And
Yeah.
as we speak, all the major destinations are already open for domestic travel, like Boracay, like zero COVID case. El Nido is
Wow.
open, Bohol, Siargao, and many more, Ilocos provinces. But the key thing to remember is always to refer to our travel advisory because it keeps on changing. As you know, we are having challenges now with regard to the new variant cases affecting especially Metro Manila, which is under GCQ now. It's simply the tier 1, tier 4 system. But suffice it to say that the government is doing its best to speed up the vaccination program. As it is, we're only with 5 million vaccinations
Vaccinated.
administered, but we have a long way to go. But as what the government announced, by June we'll have the bulk of our vaccine orders. So the challenge really and the key thing to do is to have this fast implementation of mass vaccination program so that we are able to join the global herd immunity. As the case now of UK,
Yeah.
we have about 60 plus million total vaccination administered.
Vaccination.
So
Yes.
yeah, that is the main challenge.
Wow. So to those watching right now, Jerry, any of them who wants to go and say have a holiday now from Manila to El Nido, they could travel, right?
Yes.
But the usual checks and everything.
Yeah,
So
and
I think
as we say,
yeah.
day to day,
Mm.
there are advisories released on even on the local government level, local government from the local government unit. So we have to be updating ourselves regularly so that we are consistently informed and we know where to go and how to go about our travel. But
That's
I'd
right.
like to emphasize that as it is, the Philippines is under the red classification of the UK government. So which means that
Mhm.
even for our kababayan here, our Filipinos here in the UK, even if they make it to the Philippines, when they come back, there is a required quarantine stay in a government accredited hotel for minimum 10 days. So that is a big challenge for everyone. And we hope to beat
Yeah.
this sooner so that it will become more convenient to visit the Philippines, even for our allowed travelers here, our kababayan in the United Kingdom.
Yeah, and because I was also, from time to time, I also watch the local news in the Philippines. There are those who are all still, having second thought of having vaccination. I mean, if you ask me, my friends, it's the best way. It's the best thing that we could actually do is to have ourselves be responsible enough to have yourself vaccinated and don't be scared. We all
Yeah.
get there and we all want to get out of this. And before we take a break, I'd like to leave this question to you, and you may answer this after the break, Jerry. The tourism industry is one of the hardest hit areas during the pandemic. What are the strategies that you have implemented to counter the slowdown? So, my friends, Jerry and I will be back after this short break.
Hey you! Sorry you couldn't make it to the Philippines, but it's okay. We haven't been up to much. There's just no escape from the heat. All we do is take showers. We're always on the move, yet we keep getting lost. We can't wait for the day to end, so we can just stay in at night. I'm kidding! We're having a blast. We haven't stopped eating and partying all day. Plus, we've made a bunch of friends. The only thing that would make it better is if you were here too.
Wow, be part of the fun. It's only in the Philippines.
Yes.
Wonderful. Congratulations. Those are very, very lovely videos. So thank you for sharing, mga kaibigan. You're, feel free to ask questions if you are watching us anywhere in the world right now. If you have questions about going back to the Philippines and enjoying, you know, even your family, if you want to send them to have some break or holiday, you know, it's very good for our mental health anyways. Please feel free to put on your questions. And again, welcome to those who join us, who are joining us today. So Gerry, my question is that what are the different strategies you have implemented to counter the slowdown because of, you know, the tourism industry, as we all know, was widely hit by this pandemic?
Yes, well, in the Philippines, there is the Interagency Task Force on COVID. So this is the main government body in which the DOT is part of, which runs all these programs to mitigate the effects of or impacts of the COVID in the Philippines and especially in our economy. But from the Philippine tourism side, number one, we subscribe to the WTTC, Safe Travel Stamp. That is the global standard coming from the World Travel and Tourism Council. So we accredit all these service facilities that are safe and are subscribing to global standards with regard to travel protection and safety measures. So we also accredit hotels that are good for staycation. And we also develop an app in which the travelers are able to access updated information about the travel conditions in certain localities. And also, with regard to financial assistance, the DOT was also very active in assisting all the personnel related to the travel industry by providing cash support to get them through this pandemic. And from the market side, and we have to make sure that we communicate precise information with regard to our travel restrictions and the safety measures that we've been preparing in order for us to be ready when we reopen the country to international leisure travel. So that is very important. And from a marketing standpoint, we are now having soft marketing to promote what we call Wake Up in the Philippines. These are basically aspirational videos, images to tell people that in the meantime, keep dreaming about the Philippines, because when you wake up and when you do make good of your travel to the Philippines, we assure you of the same promise that it will be more fun and safer Philippines which you will visit. So
Yeah.
that in essence is what we've been doing for now. Maintain our market visibility, because after all, the Europeans just don't forget. In 2019, before the pandemic, the Philippines was actually the second best performing destination in Southeast Asia in terms of British travel to Southeast Asia. And then for out of Spain, we are number one. So people just don't forget about this. They have a good imagination about the Philippines. In fact, most of our trade partners have been asking us, when do you reopen? Because they are now selling the Philippines for the winter holiday. So that is a big challenge for us. And the reason why we are very encouraged is because in October this year, the Philippines is actually hosting the WTTC Global Summit. It's the global gathering of worldwide leaders in the travel and tourism industry. So that is a very big challenge for us, and we hope to make good of it. And hopefully by then we are able to reopen the country in time for the winter vacations.
Wow, amazing. What sort of like characteristics or like attitude, like what what a particular, say for example, if for a European traveler, what characteristics are we looking for that would make them, visit back the Philippines? Are they
Yes.
like young teenagers, retirees? What are
Yeah.
these?
Well, most of the Europeans, 70%, they travel within continental Europe. But during winter time, about 30% are looking at long haul destinations, especially for sunsea holiday programs like what we have in the Philippines. So normally we get the mid managers, middle age 35 to 55. These are the bulk of our travelers, but we do have a big section also of youth travelers who go to the Philippines for responsible travel, and also for gap year program, and of course the senior travelers. And but in terms of activity, people go for beach holidays, soft adventure, health and wellness, scuba diving is big, and as I mentioned, responsible travel.
Yeah,
And
wow.
Europeans, by and large, they love adventure, and they see the uniqueness in our country. We are oddly placed in Southeast Asia. We are the only Roman Christianized country, and the most Americanized. We speak good English, so and they see Filipinos as fun-loving and very, accommodating. And that,
That's
the
right.
testimony of that is the big number of Filipinos who are working so hard and have a very good representation here in the UK, in the health care business, in the
Exactly.
service industry, and our professionals. They have a very good standing here, and people have big respect for Filipinos. So that
Yes.
makes it a bit easier. Yes.
Yeah. And then, being, really having a brand like the Philippines. And like what you said, mabuhay ang ating mga nurses, mga doctors, frontliners who are really looking after us here sa ating mga NHS. It's amazing what you are sharing to us, Gerry. It's more, I think, sometimes we see each other from time to time. But the last time I saw you was maybe a year ago. But it's nice that the program of the Department of Tourism is really in place, whether it's pandemic or no pandemic, but even more so now that there is pandemic. And that, like what you're saying, you are now preparing for the October. Was it in October?
Global Summit of the WTTC, World Travel and Tourism Council.
Wow, for the and then you have to prepare for the winter season already.
Yes.
Sana naman, hopefully at that time, I think in the recent news in the Philippines, they said that the vaccine would be in place at that time, and hopefully we are all going to be back and have a happier Merry Christmas. One of the questions, and I just would like to share to you, Gerry, that last week I had an interview with Mr. William Quindy. He is the chairman and CEO of Agritech in West Africa. And he mentioned that food production and energy consumption considers the balance of resources and human needs. Is there, and then, he was like trying to compare it to like the positive and negative energies of feng shui. Is there something parallel like that in tourism as well that you can share?
Yes. Actually, it's a global force. In everything that we do, we have to make sure that we strike a good balance.
That's right.
Between the commercial side of it and then the need to preserve our environment for tourism and for our future generation. And as you know, tourism is nothing if we don't have a good and healthy environment. And that's what we did in Boracay. Even if it was earning a lot, we had to close the island because of mass tourism and over tourism. So it's good thing after rather short 6 months of rehabilitation, when we reopened Boracay, it's a new Boracay that's now ideal destination for retreat, for honeymoon, for quiet vacation. Unlike before, it used to be a party island. So
Yeah.
with this, after we reopen, again, the global readers and the travelers, they voted Boracay as the #1 destination again for beach holiday. So
Wow.
this is what we do. A responsible travel, meaning promote programs that will support local community empowerment, inclusive economic development, and also which will sustain environmental protection for the benefit not only of the community but for the generations to come. So everything that we do is really necessitates a big balance, with regard to protection of the environment. And right now, the Europeans are heavy on that. They will go to destinations which do not promote child labor. They're very strict now. They want to see your carbon emission. They want to see how
Yeah.
good you are in maintaining your waste disposal system. So
Yes.
we are into that, and that is now the main drive of the Department of Tourism under the leadership of Secretary Berna Romulo Puyat.
That's right, which is really wonderful. You guys are doing a great job. Very impressive. Thank you for that. And one of the things as well that sort of like just occurred to me, when you go to like places like, El Nido, anywhere in Palawan, and really for several years now, they have been implementing like the use of plastic, making sure we have to go back to, ecotourism, even the built and structure of the resort has to comply with the, ecotourism theme. Is that a blanket requirement to all the resorts in the Philippines? Like you can
Well,
no
it's
longer
not,
use plastic, etc., like that?
yeah, it's not only a requirement, but it's actually a law. But it's too bad that the Department of Tourism had to intervene in what was happening in Boracay, because everything there is placed and under the protection of the law, that the local community should have a proper waste sewage system, proper waste disposal, and there should be proper easement from the shoreline to the roadside area. And
Yeah.
it took DOT to really go there and make sure that these laws are properly implemented. And we had to close Boracay, and we had to give warning to all the local government units that if you don't put your systems in place, we will also close your destination, as what happened to Boracay. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it's not only a reminder, but it's actually a law with the stiff penalties. So everyone should follow, and that's for our own good.
Yeah. And I think this is also like, little things mean a lot, right? So if from your home, I think we learn a lot from here. In fact, because here in the UK, the laws are very, how do you call it? And people really follow anyways, right? So mga kaibigan, even in your own little way at home, doing some recycling is important, bringing your own, even my for some reason, the younger generation, I'm sure you can relate it to your kids, that even my daughters, they bring their own mug to go to Starbucks to have it refilled. So, those little things would really like reduce the number of cups or anything that will be used. So, lahat mga kaibigan, sa atin pong lahat yan. And we are now, I'd like to welcome our viewers. Jerry, we have Maggie from Sutton. Hello. Marites watching from Canada. Thank you for watching. And we have Arlene watching from Georgia, USA. Teresa Kramer is watching from Netherlands. She is our Suki. Thank you so much for watching. And of course, Bautista from Dubai. Thank you so much. At marami pa, sabi niya dito, fresh daw ang beauty ni Ma'am, at saka hi po Sir Jerry from Princess. Thank you. If you have questions, mga kaibigan kay Sir Jerry, tungkol sa inyong namimiss, sige nga, sabihin niyo nga sa amin, what is the place or what are the specific destination in the Philippines that you surely missed? Because ako talaga, I'm telling you, day and night, I dream of the Philippine sunshine and of course, the Boracay or the El Nido beach. For some reason, I don't know if it has happened to you, Jerry, that when you're in the beach, you felt like how do you call this? Your job is like parang you felt so relieved and relaxed when you are in the sea. Kaya nga, di ba, we call it like the vitamin C. So, mga kaibigan, tell us what is the specific destination in the Philippines that you truly missed. So my next question, Jerry, is that your job has taken you to many beautiful places in the Philippines. So setting aside your role as a tourism promoter and getting into the shoes of the typical world traveler or yung mga kababayan natin. Which places you have visited is the most memorable to you? Perhaps you can share us because you're the most you know it all in terms of like the food, di ba? May mga masasarap na food sa Philippines, then you have the beach, and really just like that, the feeling of nature. Which place would you say is memorable to you?
In the Philippines or in any
In the
place around
Philippines.
the world?
Yes, in the Philippines.
Well, I don't count my hometown Bicol because there's bias to that. But I really love traveling to Bohol, and hopefully one day I will bring my family. Bohol because it's an
Oh,
all-in-one destination from culture to natural assets, the natural attractions, and what I like doing in Bohol is like good for as individual and as with family. I love staying along Panglao Beach. You know, it's very cool
mhm.
and very relaxing. And for diving, there's Balikasag, and along the way you can go dolphin watching. And there's also
Yeah.
the a river where you can go on a river cruise with lunch while watching, you know, the local community do its day-to-day yeah,
Mm.
that's that, yeah.
Which one
And
is
also
that?
there's also the chocolate hills, the tarsier, yeah, so
Yes.
many things, yeah.
Uh,
The seafood,
yeah, I remember going to this place where, di ba yung parang they have the tarsier? It was you have
yes,
to go to the boat ride, right?
yes,
And then you can see these little monkeys that are shares around as
yes,
well. So I know what you mean. So the place is already has this combination of, you know, food. You have the food, you have the places to go, and at
the
the same
culture,
time,
you know,
the
yeah,
culture as well.
and also
Wow.
big, and also good service facilities. We have some of the best
That's right.
resorts there. Yes.
Yeah, that's right. So mga kaibigan, sa mga nanonood natin sa akin dyan, sa anywhere in the world, you can actually download the app Philippine Tourism. This is available on Android or on Google Play. You know, you can see, and there's a lot of videos as well that you can follow on YouTube as well for Department of Tourism. Actually, talaga ang gaganda ng pagkagawa ng videos. It's really awesome. No wonder we are consistently the always in the top beautiful places to visit in the world. This one, where is that? Which mountain is that? The other one
um
earlier.
I didn't see it, but maybe in Davao, but that one is from
Hmm.
Bohol. Yeah,
This is from
it's
Bohol.
yeah,
I
it's a
see.
collection of different destinations. So yeah, that is in
Wow.
southern Philippines. Yeah.
So there's a lot. So mga kaibigan, pag umuwi naman kayo sa Pilipinas, enjoy, explore. Because nga, yun nga eh. How many in total? 7,000? 600.
641.
Okay, mga kaibigan ha, nung high school pa lang ako, alam ko 7,000 islands or 7,100. Now pala
641.
7,641. And the
Yes.
taglines, as you can see, is balikan natin ang Pilipinas, balikan ang saya, balikan ang mundo ng magagandang tanawin sa Pilipinas. And it's more fun in the Philippines, truly. Now, one of our sort of things that I can ask you as well is that what would be your advice to people in the tourism industry in the Philippines who are badly affected by the pandemic, and to young people who might want to consider tourism promotion as a career in the future? So there are two parts of my question actually, because I knew a lot of my friends who has who has been involved in the tourism business. They have hotels, they have I have so many Spanish friends in El Nido, who has to close down temporarily for about their business, their hotel business. What can you advise to them? And then siguro our second question is, what would you advise to those who wanted to become, to follow your footsteps, especially the young generation?
Yes, I'll start with the students, those who are pursuing a career in the travel industry. I always advise them to stay the course. Don't shift course because as you know, the tourism and travel industry is a big generator of jobs and livelihood opportunities for our country. So this is just a temporary, as we say, glitz. When we reopen, we still service to more than 100 million domestic travelers. So when we are back to new normal, there will be a big demand. So even for our friends in the actual travel industry, keep the faith because you know we've been through this before. You know we've had SARS, and the global travel industry has always been resilient. But admittedly, this pandemic is somewhat unprecedented and has really disrupted the global industry. You know, in a catastrophic. You know, in the most unimaginable manner. So, but good thing, all these countries around the world are now speeding up and are into doing a lot of research and in making sure that we are able to give out vaccination to as many countries, and especially hopefully for the Philippines. And this is what we will reassure everyone that once we go back to our usual big travel industry, definitely we'll be needing more players. We'll be needing more new job professionals. So it will be big again. And you know, we go back to 2019. Philippines before this pandemic had one of the highest growth rates in the world in terms of visitor arrivals. So we just go back to what we do best, and we'll surely have the right and ideal industry setting for the Philippines.
I mean, I'm sure. I mean, is there any like, would you say, is there any like timing, or are we looking at a particular year that you would say this will soon pick up, perhaps mid of 2022 or beyond that? What is the ideal?
Yeah, it's all about our capability to speed up our mass vaccination program. But as I mentioned, we are overcommitting already. We are already putting the Philippines, you know, in front of the global arena. That come October 2021, we will host this biggest professional congress for the WTTC, the World Travel and Tourism Council. So that will be a good signal for us, and hopefully by mid-year, by mid-2022, we'll be back to doing what we do best under the new normal.
Is the one that Philippines is hosting, the global tourism event, is it gonna be virtual, or is it gonna be in a particular place?
It's in presence. It's face to face. Like all the global delegates will be arriving in the Philippines to show support and show of force.
Wow, wonderful! And you are looking at how many in terms of the number flying into the country for that?
I'm not sure about the numbers, but maybe more than 1,000 delegates. It's always it's a composed of the best and the top level professionals in the travel industry. So
wow, wonderful! Big, congratulations.
Yes.
Ang galing. So that would really signal the opening of, you know, the revival and the opening of tourism industry, more freedom, hopefully. So mga kaibigan, yung mga nanonood sa atin ngayon dyan, magpapakuna na kayo. So we can all help and, you know, pick up the economy as well. You know, little things that we do would really help. And Gerry, before we go to our ending goodbye to our friends, sabi ni Teresa Kramer from Netherlands, I was lucky I was able to visit Philippines bago lumala ang COVID and all this lockdown. Ay buti naman. So when you have the chance, you always go back. You always go back talaga. So my friends, if you have share to us the tourism destination in the Philippines that you missed most. And thank you so much for Dan Ravillo for tuning in to us. And we have Anne from Winnipeg. I know Anne, you know that she's a nurse in Canada. She has a very, very nice story. The whole family had COVID. And I think there's like the husband and wife and then the 4 kids. They all had COVID. And then I met her through the FENG SHUI and everything. And now she's so excited because even her employer has given them a round trip ticket for all 6 of them. to go back to the Philippines. So see, so they're so excited to really go back to the Philippines. And we have viewers again from Canada. Thank you so much for watching. And yun, maganda po yung ating usapan ngayon. Sabi ni Miss Carl, lucky sa Mindanao area, malapit lang sa beach and by land sa mountain views. Ay, napakaganda naman ng space mo dyan. Hello, good evening, Sela. Thank you for watching. Glory, thank you also for watching. And to all of you who are here, thank you so much. And of course, nagpapasalamat tayo sa time ni Sir Gerry. I know he's very busy and today is a bank holiday in the UK. Nagtatrabaho pa rin kaming dalawa. And life is like that. So, Sir Gerry, any, last few, information you would like to share to our viewers before we say goodbye for them this time?
Yes. First, thanks to you, Marites, for giving me this opportunity. As I mentioned to you, I have been a big follower since my Taiwan days. I've been following your books. But anyway, we are a strong Filipino community here in the UK. We work closely with our Philippine Embassy under Ambassador Antonio Lagdameo. And nothing will beat, that feeling of unity and being one here as a good representation in the UK. And let's spread positive news, all the good things, learn more about our destinations. We have our website and app, www.itsmorefuninthephilippines.co.uk, so that you're able to share information. And you are already the natural travel ambassadors because your British friends, your foreign friends believe in you, your clients, your patients.
Yes.
So all it has to take is to be a good example and bring them to the Philippines when the right time comes. Yeah. And as I always say, this is what I want to share to all our kababayan. When you make it to the Philippines, you are not only a leisure visitor or traveler, but in fact an enabler, because you become now a part of our economic process, wherein your travel expenditures give so much hope and jobs and livelihood opportunities for our kababayan. And that is the main essence of our tourism work here. Not only about fun, but it's also giving opportunities and hope for our kababayan. So let's stand united here and do what we can to promote the Philippines across all fronts, from tourism to business and to our community relations here. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you so much. I love that. I so love that. My God, it's all stand united. And I'm telling you, anywhere we are, saan mo man dalhin ang mga Pinoy, babalik at babalik pa yan sa Pilipinas. There's nothing like home. And even for me, I'm going to retire in the Philippines, not in the UK. So, Gerry, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. You are such a great asset to the Filipino community. Saludo ako sa iyo. Maraming salamat. And to all of you, my friends, mga kaibigan, thank you so much for tuning in today. And please continue to share Maritess Allen and then follow us on YouTube, Facebook, or Instagram. And don't forget to download, mga kaibigan, yung ating app ng Philippine Tourism at saka po yung ating YouTube Department of Tourism. There are so many beautiful, awesome videos that you can share. At saka yung mga employers niyo dyan, yung mga friends niyo. Ako po, nakapila na po yung aking mga foreigner friends na dadalhin namin sa Pilipinas once it's clear to travel. So once again, my friends, thank you so much. I'll see you on Wednesday for my Filipino TV Europe episode with Sunny Laragan on Wednesday. That's going to be 1 p.m. And on Friday for my Friga Fashion Friday, 1 p.m. again. And I'll see you again next week. Have a great Monday and a great week for you anywhere you are. Love you all. Take care.
Hey you, sorry you couldn't make it to the Philippines, but it's okay, we haven't been up to much. There's just no escape from the heat. All we do is take showers. We keep getting lost. We can't wait for the day to end. I'm kidding! We're having a blast. The only thing that would make it better is if you were here too.